Hello everyone, I'm Sean.
This is Joan.
And we are the Courageour Frights, back once again from their movie review.
Yes.
And as you can see, we saw the greatest film of the year.
Yes, the greatest film of the year.
Kraven the Hunter. So here we go.
Yes, Kraven was gaining responsibility to gain powerful abilities. Whatever that's
With great power.
Great power comes great responsibility. Or
Great responsibility.
Those endowed with great power bear a commensurate burden of responsibility. That's more
That just flows off the tongue.
Yeah.
That is unfortunately not one of the lines of dialogue in this movie. However, we do get some fantastic dialogue in this film. Yeah. We get a line where somebody says, "My grandmother died shortly after that, and then I never saw her again."
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, that's what dying means.
Or they had some weird takes where it's like, this doesn't feel right. And it was like really, it was like the first take of some sort of dialogue, so.
Then we had one of the greatest moments ever where somebody tells a rhino something and his response is,
yeah. Yeah.
For like 10 seconds. That was a long scene.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing.
He's just like gagging for like an elongated take, and then no one addresses it, and it just cuts.
Yes.
Like that was a normal thing that happened. Like it honestly looked like he was choking.
He probably was.
And they just left it in.
Like, I'm still in this movie.
They just left that scene in. He was choking, and then after about 10 seconds, they realized actually realized he was choking. Yeah. And then they cut the scene and had to do the Heimlich on him, and then they just left that in the movie. Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's so dumb. It's one of the weirdest scenes I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, especially in a movie like a superhero movie, I guess.
Yeah, like he's just standing there, and then he's just hacking up a hairball.
Yeah. And
there's no reason for it. And this is like the lead villain of the movie.
Yeah, Rhino.
So anyway, yeah, that craziness out of the way right away. There also is a scene where they call Kraven by his name or something, and he's like, "How'd you know that name?" It was like almost the, "Why'd you say that name?
Why'd you say that name?"
He almost said it the same as Batman too. It's weird. So anyway, Kraven the Hunter. What is this movie?
This is a disaster.
This is a disaster. It's actually not in my opinion, it's not the worst Sony movie.
Out of the Spunk universe.
Yeah.
I would say that Madam Web probably was the worst out of all.
Yeah, true. Madam Web is hilarious.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's bad, but it is kind of like, it's still entertaining. It's like this movie.
Each one of these
bad, but it is entertaining.
Yeah, each one of these movies have some fantastic scene.
Yeah. Either
in the trailer or the movie, because Madam Web had that other line, besides the responsibility. Yeah. There was that line in the trailer where it was like, he was with my mom in the Amazon when she was studying spiders before she died, or whatever the hell it was. It was... Yeah. Which I don't think made it into the movie, but it was in the trailer. And then this one has that stupid line about my grandmother died, and then I never saw her again.
Yeah, my grandmother died and I never saw her again.
It's like, it would be probably more concerning if you saw her after that.
Yeah. So we had that little drink or whatever that could make you do dream. It was like undream, or what did she? That's something weird. It was like,
I don't know.
Something about a dream would like help you heal or something.
She's supposed to be like a voodoo priestess or something, but that's never explained in the film.
Because we read the Wikipedia article. It says it's a voodoo priestess, but she's like a lawyer. She never says she's a voodoo priestess.
Yeah, it's like missing information. They've been doing that since Morbius.
Yeah.
Because Morbius had a character that was supposed to have this huge subplot where he was supposed to have like almost like a Mega Man blaster arm or some crap. And he went on and talked about it in interviews, like on the Tonight Show and crap. It was never it's not in the movie at all.
That's weird. That's
like,
weird.
All that stuff got cut. And I guarantee that's probably what happened here.
Yeah.
And in Madam Web. All those ones probably had, like, huge chunks of the film missing.
Yeah, because it does feel like there's a part where... I guess this is getting off top. Like, this is like kind of the middle of the movie where Kraven's trying to chase after some helicopter.
Yeah.
One scene, he gets, like, slammed on the ground because he gets hit by another car coming down the road, and the next scene he's like right next to the helicopter for some weird reason. It shows him speeding off, but he got back to him really quickly. I don't know
there's
how that
just
even happened.
Missing scenes in the film. So anyway, I guess start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So what happens at the beginning of Kraven the Hunter?
Okay, so beginning, you basically show like this crime family. I guess it didn't show the crime family at first, but the very beginning it shows like Kraven kind of going through like he's like in a prison bus or something.
Oh yeah. So the very first thing you see in this film, or here in this film, is the opening. That Russian song that's playing at the opening of Hunt for Red October.
Yeah.
It's the same song. It's the exact same version of that song.
Yeah.
And I was like, did they re-release Hunt for Red October and we're in the wrong theater? I mean, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
They did that.
We're just in Kraven the Hunter.
I was like, oh, I love Hunt for Red October. And then it was like Kraven. I was like, oh, God.
It's the wrong movie with Hunt in it.
Yeah. Damn it. So they started off. Actually, it has a strong opening.
Yeah, it does. That beginning is pretty decent.
Not just because you think you're watching a much better film, but because that opening scene where he's like on a Russian prison bus.
Yeah,
and then he breaks out of the prison, and so that's actually pretty cool.
Actually, one thing about that prison though, is it Russian prisons? You just go to let their convicts just use the bathroom at like a bus stop?
I don't know what
they're like. You have 5 minutes to relieve yourself, and then like, everyone walks off the bus, and it's going to like a maximum security prison.
Yeah,
so, I don't know. Maybe that's how they do things in Russia.
I mean, if they're taking him like some gulag type place that's out in the middle of nowhere, so maybe they do stop.
They're like Siberia or something.
Yeah. So anyway, it's like an opening scene. It's like a cold open that's just there to show who Kraven is.
How badass Kraven is.
How badass he is, which admittedly he is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like Aaron Taylor Johnson probably could pull off Kraven in a much better film.
Yeah. It's kind of a shame that if Marvel doesn't pick him up to do anything, it is kind of a shame. Because he was pretty good in this movie. It was not.
I mean, technically they already have. I mean, he was Quicksilver.
Yeah.
In the MCU. So... But that was like a one and done. He's like one of the only characters to ever die and stay dead in the MCU.
They killed him off for sure.
For some reason, they hated him so much they just left him dead. And then they replaced him with the other Quicksilver.
Yeah, the other one
from the Fox universe.
The Fox universe.
So yeah, anyway, he breaks out of prison. He kills the guy that runs the prison or whatever.
Yeah, because I think he's a hunter, so he's like, my job is to hunt people.
Yeah.
And you're my target, basically, and he kills him.
Yeah. And then it like does this flashback to when he was like a teenager or something.
Him and his brother are like some boarding school in like New York.
Mm-hmm.
And then his dad comes, which I think this dad was like, I don't even know what their names are. Let me see what it's like.
It's like Nikolai or something.
Yeah, Nikolai, which is played by Russell Crowe. So Nikolai Kravenov. Because he's like part of the Kravenov like crime family or something. And he's like...
Yeah.
It's like you basically came to tell me your mother died.
Like he's like your mother was weak.
Yeah, your mother was weak.
Yeah, she's crazy.
Yeah,
so
and it basically sets up the scenes where the origin story of like where he got his powers from.
Yeah, where his responsibility came from.
Yeah,
and how he obtained his great powers.
Great powers. So
where he gained his abilities or whatever, great abilities.
Yeah.
Which, I have some questions about that. So, first off, talking about Russell Crowe here. Russell Crowe does a decent enough job as generic Russian bad guy. Yeah. I was disappointed he didn't use his Zeus voice again.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping he was just going to keep using the same generic European accent for every single character, regardless of their origins. He does do the little cynical chuckle thing, though, that he started with Zeus.
Yeah.
Whatever, I can't do it, but he does it in all of his roles that he plays like a European guy for some reason.
Yeah.
So he keeps doing that. But we did get an attempt at a Russian accent this time instead of just reusing the Greek one like he did in that Exorcist film.
Yeah.
Where he's had the same voice he had for Zeus as an Italian guy. So yeah, he did a serviceable job.
Yeah. Like, Russell Crowe didn't do too bad in this movie. He actually was pretty decent. But his whole job is to be, like, menacing gangster or something?
Yeah,
he
must be man.
Gangster.
He must be a man.
Yeah, you must be man.
So, anyway, Nikolai, he shows up and he's like, your mother was weak. She died.
Yeah.
And And they're all like in shock because like, you mean my mom's dead? And he's like, yeah, never mind. We go on safari.
Yeah, we go on safari. You go on animals.
It's fun, right? So we shoot animal is very fun.
Yeah,
so
your mother died, kid. Let's go to the safari.
That's literally what happens. He shows up and he's like, your mother's dead. Get on plane. We shoot lion.
He's like, I took you out of boarding school. I took you out of school to go shoot animals.
Yeah. So he's like, get on plane. We go shoot lion. Yeah. So they go to Ghana. And apparently the person who later on we meet as a lawyer down the line, Calypso, she's there with her grandmother.
Yeah, her grandmother is the grandfather from Yu-Gi-Oh!
She's the Yu-Gi-Oh! Master.
Yeah, like
so she spreads out her unbeatable deck of cards. And she's like a tarot card thing. She's like some kind of witch doctor, voodoo lady or something, but it's like barely referenced.
Because they never really say anything, but they're like, tarot cards are pretty important. This is what you do.
This is what you do.
First 3 cards of the deck, and this.
It's like says. Tarot for dummies or something. Which they did this in Agatha All Along too. They had this weird simplified view of what tarot is in that show too. So, as soon as that shit started happening, I rolled my eyes because every single one of these Sony verse things always has this weird mystic crap that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. I don't have a problem with supernatural stuff being in there, but Sony just explains it in such a terrible way that it always makes no sense. It's like Madame Web was riddled with this shit.
Yeah.
This film doesn't do it as much as Madame Web, but they still, as soon as they started pulling out the tarot deck, I was just like, oh god, here we go.
Some people have powerful connection to the cards or something. They have the heart of the cards. At this point, they're like, what?
Yeah, so she pulls out the blue-eyed white dragon out of her tarot deck. I have a gift
for you, my 4th blue-eyed white dragon. And then Seto Kaiba shows up and rips it in half.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, that doesn't happen.
No.
But... So anyway, Russell Crowe and his kids, they're out there doing their safari to get over their mother's death. Because nothing gets you over your mother's death quite like shooting things. And they're hunting this lion.
Yeah.
And this is like the super lion. This is the lion of all lions.
Yes.
It's apparently killed like 36 people or something.
They said it was like a legend. So if you kill it, you become a legend.
Yeah, that's what Russell Crowe says.
Yeah.
So he's there to kill legend. Man kill legend, man become legend. So they're out there hunting, and the lion shows up out of the brush and attacks Kraven. Whatever. What's his name? Sergei?
Yes.
Something like it. Sergei. So he attacks Sergei, and that's the guy becomes Kraven. Yeah. It grabs him, it bites him a bunch of times. The lion gets shot several times by Nikolai.
Yeah. And
it drags Sergei through, like, the brush.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Calypso is there with her family. Her dad's, like, taking pictures of giraffes or something.
Yeah, because I think the reason why is because I think she did the cards earlier, and it said basically, like, basically the 3 cards you picked up were, you will, like, change someone's life with strength or something. It was like the strength card.
Yeah, because there was like the tower. It was supposed to be an accident. But it was her, though, in the first card.
Yeah, it was her in the first card. Like,
and then she's supposed to have a terrible accident and it's going to make her strong.
Yeah, that's like... Yeah, it didn't make any sense. It's like...
But the accident... Yeah, but then it immediately went to Kraven. So anyway, she finds... Sergei and the lion. The lion dumps Sergei and runs. But before
the lion tells him to, like... The lion basically tells...
The lion tells
her to, like, use the serum in his mouth or something. Like...
So, anyway, the lion... But here's the part that I'm confused by. So, the lion's blood...
Yeah, this is...
drips into the wound of Sergei.
Yeah.
And then she gives Sergei this vial that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
This is a vial of unknown liquid. That she just pours into his mouth, and next thing he knows, he wakes up in the hospital. Well, first he's at the hospital and he flatlines.
Yeah, there's a Neil Breen scene right before he like
pretty much.
It shows up as like, who am I? What am I? Yeah. And then he's like, it's like these weird symbols show up, and then he's like, getting CPR and stuff.
There's a whole bunch of symbols, and then they hit him once with the defibrillator. They do 3 compressions.
Yeah, they're like, he's dead.
They're like, we've done all we can do. He's dead.
Yeah.
So I'm calling the time. And then he wakes up. But during that time, though, it's implied or something that when the lion's blood dripped into his wound, the lion's DNA fused with his DNA. And I was like, is that just the thing that was going to happen anyway? Was this like a vampire lion?
I think the lion
was the thing she gave him as a drink not only saved his life, but it somehow fused his DNA.
Probably fused it.
But here's my question. So it fused the DNA with the lion. Okay, I get that. Why does he have eagle powers?
Yeah, I know. He's like, he can like see way. He has like binocular eyes.
Because when he comes out of the hospital later, he's like in England, and there's a hawk or something at the door watching him.
Yeah.
And there's like this bond between him and the hawk. And then later he has eagle vision that he uses to like zoom in on cigarette butts and stuff. And it's like, wait, how did the eagle's DNA get in there?
I guess the lion just got all the DNA. It was like the super lion.
Was that a griffin?
Yeah, I don't know.
It was hiding its wings or something?
I don't know. It was really strange.
It was a big lion.
He got all these powers. Like, his eyes turn different colors. And like
yeah, he gets
like
Sith eyes.
Yeah, he's like a weird Sith. Yeah, Sith eyes.
Yeah.
But then he can, like, commune with animals or something.
Like all the animals.
Like wolves and stuff. He can just, like, commune with them and be like, don't attack me.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? And then it won't attack you. And it's like, oh, you're one of us, I guess.
I guess. He's just one of all the animals. So now he has lion eagle powers.
Yeah, lion eagle powers that commune with all animals.
Yeah. And so he comes out of the... Well, first, Nikolai shows up, and he's always like, you must be a man.
Yeah. You must
so he comes and he's like... He doesn't even say anything to the doctors or anything. He's like... My son's coming with me. He's leaving hospital. And they're like, no, like, we need to do tests on him. He's like, no, he's fine. Let's go. So he discharges his son from the hospital, even though he just, like, did die, actually. And then they get into an argument back home because Nikolai's, like, saying he wants Sergei to run the business.
Yeah, and he's like, why didn't you shoot?
Yeah, he's like, why didn't you shoot? You threatened your brother's life and your own. And then he's like, I think America is making you soft. Yeah. We must stay here in England.
Yeah, no. America's making you weak. You need to stay in England.
Yeah, you gotta live in the wilds of England.
Yeah.
Because America's making him soft. So he wants him to run the business, and then his brother's a wimp. He doesn't like his brother. His Nikolai doesn't give a shit about Dimitri.
I think his brother was like almost like a bastard child or something.
Yeah, he was like some other... Yeah, he was the son of somebody else, I think. So he doesn't care about Dimitri, who's kind of a wimp in his mind.
Yeah.
He's weak, like his mother. That wasn't his mother? I don't know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he ends up later on, he just becomes like a singer at like his dad's club or something.
He becomes a transient.
A transient.
He's
like a piano. He's the piano man.
Yeah, he like plays piano and sings, and he like owns like a club. He like owns like a night. He becomes a host.
Yeah,
he becomes a host from.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But his dad's the one that owns the club, I think.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what happens with Dimitri, who's the younger brother. But anyway, Sergei, who becomes Kraven, is like, he refuses to take the job, and he just decides to run away.
Yeah, and I'm leaving because I have my Blue Eyes White Dragon on me. I need to get back to that girl that saved me. So
he decides to run away from home, and then we get a time skip back to the present. So that was like 16 years ago. He goes to where... I guess he goes to where they used to go, like, camping or some shit. They had a house.
Yeah.
It is a weird-looking house out in the middle of Siberia.
Yeah.
That they used to do, like, hunting trips or something, too. And their mom used to sing these songs to them or something, and that's, like, where... The only place he has to remember her is that, like, hunting lodge or something. So Kraven basically makes that his base of operations. But the interesting thing is he gets there, and this is a film about animals and wildlife and, like, all that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But the filmmakers never bothered to find out what kind of animals live where.
In Siberia.
Yeah, so he's in far eastern Russia, it says. And the first thing he encounters is a massive herd of water buffalo.
Yeah, it's like, why are these things here?
And they're African water buffalo. They're not even Asian ones. Like, what the hell is going... Why is there a herd of African water buffalo in eastern Russia?
Yeah, no.
That's never explained. And then their leader of the buffalo has one horn. Like, the horn's broken off. And the reason why I bring that, it becomes important later. Well, it's not
foreshadowing.
It's not important, but it's
important in this movie.
It should be. It should have been important to the editor.
Yes.
That's there, and we'll get to that at the end of the movie. But anyway, make sure you remember if you're watching this.
Foreshadowing.
Make sure you remember about the buffalo that's missing a horn.
Yeah. And which is kind of weird because obviously this poaching is going on this whole time because they come and kill the water buffalo, and they must come every year because they're like there every time, like breaking into this thing just to hunt water buffalo. And it's like, how many water buffalo do you have? Yeah, and this is like these English guys that break into your place to kill water buffalo in take
Russia.
Their horn, just leave all the meat and just take their horns.
Yeah, so that's the point I was just getting at. So they kill the water buffalo, and then they take all their horns, and they leave the corpses behind. So like the buffalo are all dead.
Yeah. That
herd is dead. And then Kraven goes on a rampage and kills them all, because that's what Kraven does. He kills poacher in this movie, not the comics. He kills poachers, he kills, like, mob guys, just general, like, bad people.
Yeah, because I think being with his upbringing basically says that his upbringing is basically saying that my dad brought evil in the world, I want to, like, get rid of that.
Right. So, like, that's what Kraven's doing in this context. Yeah. That's not what he does in the comics, but that's what he's doing here. So, they kill all the water buffalo. That's important to keep in mind for the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's basically that scene. And then he's going on doing his hunting thing.
Yeah.
He kills... They have that one scene that's really cool.
Yeah.
Where he kills, like... bunch of those guys, and then he shows up at their place.
Yeah, because he basically uses the eagle vision to read the license plate while they're driving off, and like, let me go to where that person's from.
Yeah, he tracks them down, and then there is a really cool scene in the movie where, like, the poacher guy comes in, and then he thinks he's talking to his boss.
Yeah.
And then the chair turns around, and it's Kraven. And he tells him, like, he has a crossbow pointed at him. And he's just like, what's your name and all that kind of stuff. And he tells him, he scrolls through the book. He has like a dossier of names that are in the business. And then he finds a guy's name. He shoots him with a crossbow and kills him. Yeah. And then he has this scene where he just like nonchalantly just pulls the cap out with his teeth on the pens, crosses the name off. And he just like tosses it away like he doesn't care. And then he walks out the door, and he shuts the door, and you see the boss with a knife through his chest, like, pinned to the door. Yeah. Like, that was cool, where it was just like, Kraven's just this badass dude.
Like I said, Kraven in this movie is pretty good. Like, he's very likable.
Like, Aaron Taylor Johnson was good. Yeah. It's just, he's not in a good movie.
No.
And that's about the time that he randomly finds Calypso again.
Yeah, because he's like, I want to give you your card back because you saved my life or whatever.
Yeah, and he knows like everything about her.
Yeah, he's been like stalking her.
Yeah, it's Kraven the Stalker.
Yeah, he like literally been stalking her all these years. Like, I know where you live. I know where you work.
Yeah,
I looked at your trash.
Right, because her friend was killed.
Yeah.
By the Russian mob or something.
Yeah,
and it turns out that the guy who had her friend killed was the dude he killed at the beginning of the movie in the Russian prison.
Yeah. And it's like his thank you for that.
Yeah, they say that he basically, the whole reason why he went to the Russian prison was to kill that guy because her friend was killed by him.
Yeah.
So he's been stalking Calypso for God knows how long.
Yeah, how long? 16 years.
Yeah, and he just now decided to reveal himself.
Yeah, he's like, here's your card back, and I have a dossier of names because you're a lawyer.
Yeah, so he's got a whole list of names. And then he keeps coming back home to visit his brother, Dmitri.
Yeah, because he feels sorry for like leaving him alone with his
with
dad
Nikolai.
While he was like gone.
So he comes back to see Dmitri. It's almost like a setup because Dmitri takes them out to dinner.
Yeah,
and then he obviously told their father that they were going to be there.
Yeah, because I think Dimitri kind of wants to be like a family again because he's kind of like
he wants to be a family man.
He wants to be a family.
He's trying to be a family man.
He's trying to be a family man because he's like, I think he probably wants everyone to like be in, like not really hating each other, but at least seeing each other more. At least it seems like to me. At least his point. Yeah.
So his special. I guess before we get further, we have to make a point of noting that Dimitri has a special talent, and his talent is that he can basically mimic anybody's voice.
Yeah. That's his superpower. That's his great responsibility.
Yes. So here's the thing with that, though. So his power is he can mimic anybody's voice.
Yeah.
You know, like a chameleon.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yes. That's what they're known for.
What?
Their voice changing abilities.
If only there was an animal that could mimic voices. Some sort of chameleon.
Yeah.
This is, again, the film all about animals. So, yeah. So he can mimic your voice just like a chameleon.
Yes.
So that's his whole shtick. And anyway, right after that, mobster dudes break into their place and they kidnap Dimitri. Apparently we find out they actually went there to get Kraven, but he wasn't there at the time because he decided to go sleep outside barefoot in the lawn.
Yeah, because he was like, I can't listen to this heater or whatever, air conditioner going on. Yeah. Like, I gotta go outside.
So he tried to block out the sound of the air conditioner by smothering himself with a pillow. He stuck it like right on his face. And then he just took his shoes off and just laid out in the lawn barefoot. And in the night they came and they took Dimitri.
Yeah, but I think in the meantime, I guess we learn about the villain, Rhino.
Yes, so the main villain of this film is Rhino, who was actually introduced 16 years ago at the safari. Because Rhino just has this weird thing where he has this compulsion to just make a partnership with everyone he meets.
He's like, be a partner with me. He's like, every time you see someone, it's like, be a partner with me.
He's just desperately looking for friends, that's all.
And he kind of like, I guess his thing is like, I think he took when they're on the safari trip, I think Nikolai or whatever, who's the main guy?
Nikolai's Russell Crowe.
Yeah, Russell Crowe was like, you're insignificant. Well, like, why would I ever work with you? Because you're so insignificant. You're like a speck of dirt,
right,
on the earth. Like no one cares about you. Basically, and he basically took that to heart. Yeah, he's like trying to take over the empire, basically.
Right, he's trying to make like his own mafia thing. Yeah. But he went to New York City, met with a scientist. It was like Miles Dyson.
Yeah, Miles Dyson.
It's probably a guy in the Spider-Man comics or something.
I think it's that guy from. It sounds like the guy from Reptile. I think it's like Reptile or something.
No, Reptile's Kirk Connors.
Is that who? I don't even know who he said he met someone. That
it was that type of stuff. Something Miles something. Yeah. I can't. Miles Morales. Yeah. Some guy named Miles who's maybe a scientist in the comics. Maybe he's not. I don't know. But anyway, he's some guy that makes serums for people, which becomes important later, again, at the end of the movie as well. Yeah. But anyway, so they gave him this serum that...
To make him strong.
To make him really strong, and it basically turns him into a rhino.
Yeah,
so,
like his skin hardens and turns like gray. He's almost like the Thing or something.
Yeah, his skin turns into like a rock almost. Yeah,
because he gets shot and
he's bulletproof. Yeah, because he's bulletproof like a rhino.
Yeah, rhinos are so bulletproof. It's not like they get poached or anything.
No, that's another thing I thought was really stupid too, because like I know people that first saw rhinos like millennia ago.
Yeah.
The Indian rhino specifically, because it has those thick layers of skin.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's armored. But in reality, their skin's actually very sensitive.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not tough at all. Like, it's just fatty tissue. It's not like it's armor plating.
Yeah.
So anyway, this guy's bulletproof just like a rhinoceros.
Yes.
And he keeps his serum in the world's tiniest backpack.
Yeah, I know. That doesn't bother me. I even thinking it says something like that backpack's too small for that guy.
It's like this big.
Yeah, it's like
this.
I think it's supposed to be like a camelback. You know, like those, like drinks. You know, like you put water in it.
Yeah, he's just walking around with like this little teeny tiny backpack.
And he's pretty muscular. Like the guy that plays the actor is like pretty muscular.
Yeah. He's got this little backpack that's just like, so weird. The backpack's just hanging on for dear life. Like it's about to pop off at any moment. Yeah. So he has this serum in the world's tiniest backpack.
Yes.
And every once in a while, he hooks himself up and he turns into a rhino briefly.
Yeah, because he has it's keeping him from being the rhino.
Yeah.
So he takes it off and he's like, it hurts too much or something, and it's like I can't stay the rhino forever because of that reason.
Yeah, it's whatever. So he calls himself the Rhino. He tries to get at Nikolai by kidnapping his son.
So I should have called himself Rocksteady.
Rocksteady.
Because it's basically the same guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's literally the same guy.
Yeah. So he's trying to get back at Nikolai. He's trying to take over his kingdom or whatever, his mafia domain thing. We forgot that a bunch of people tried. He sent assassins to take out Nikolai, and that failed miserably.
Yeah.
And his son just hid under the piano.
Yeah.
So that was I don't know, it wasn't a major part of the film.
No. It basically showed that his son's like a coward or something.
Yeah, he's not man.
Yeah, he's not man.
He's weak like mother.
It's like, punch me. No. He just shoves him into the table or something.
Yeah. So anyway, they kidnap his brother, Kraven's brother. There's a chase scene where Kraven tries to catch them, but he doesn't make it.
Actually, that would hurt. That chase scene with him running around barefoot in the middle of London, that's
yeah.
Whoever was doing that was his feet must be thick as.
It's like the rhino.
Yeah, like a rhino feet or something. Because he was running full speed with barefoot, and I was like, man, that seems like it would hurt pretty bad on concrete.
Yeah. So the brother's gone. They take him to Russia.
Yeah. And
so Kraven goes after them with Calypso. He's got his special poison shit that he makes. And when they get there, they get attacked by a snow leopard, who's apparently his buddy. But they're full-on brawling each other.
Yeah, I don't know if that's his buddy or not. I have no idea, actually.
Well, later on, he saves his brother, so he must have been they're almost implying that he's an ally of Kraven, but the snow leopard literally tries to kill Kraven when they first meet.
It tries to kill him. Yeah.
But anyway, he pins him down. It's like me dealing with my cat. We just fight all the time, except for this is significantly bigger than my cat.
Yeah.
So anyway, Kraven puts the leopard in a chokehold.
Yeah.
And finally gets it to stop attacking him. And we find out that Calypso also is highly skilled archer woman.
Yeah.
Because she went to summer camp one year.
Yeah, and then she became master
archer
or something.
Yeah. So that's cool. Which they even make fun of in the movie. Because Kraven's just I was on hell of a summer camp. But in the meantime, we're introduced to another villain. This is the main bad guy, henchman for the Rhino.
We were introduced to
it's called Dio.
Yeah.
So Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure shows up, and he has the ability to... He takes his sunglasses off, and all of a sudden, it's the Zawarudo, and everything freezes for 3 seconds.
Yeah, he has 3 seconds to just mess with people, and I don't even really understand what his powers are.
No,
because they don't explain it. He just has it. And it's okay.
Well, they never explain what even created Kraven in the first place. It's mystery serum.
Mystery serum, yeah.
Because that's actually a plot in the film where Kraven's I always tried to figure out what you gave me, and I was never able to figure it out. And she's just yeah, I'm not telling you that.
When you take responsibility, you gain great powers or powerful abilities.
Powerful abilities, yeah.
So he took.
But did he take responsibility? He just got dragged off by a lion.
Yeah,
Is that responsible?
He was responsible by taking all that bite marks.
I guess. I thought he wasn't responsible because he didn't shoot the lion. He put himself and his brother in danger.
Yeah, that's true.
According to Nikolai. So in this case, taking no responsibility gives you great power, great abilities.
Yes.
So that guy shows up. What is he? The Foreigner?
Yeah, his name is the Foreigner.
The Foreigner. So he takes his sunglasses off, and then there's 3 seconds where time stops, and he just kills people.
Yeah, and like I say, I don't understand how he got this. And he said he's he does say that if he took his eyeballs away, the Rhino did say if I took your eyeballs away, would you just not be able to do that anymore?
And then he says relax, and then it cuts to the
relax,
next scene.
And then he's eating a steak. And he says, relax. And he just eats Dimitri's steak.
He eats Dimitri's steak. He says, relax. And it's he didn't even finish the word. And the scene cuts to the next scene.
It's quite strange.
There's a lot of jumpy editing here.
In our theater, I don't know if it's just our theater, but half the
subtitles
were all cut off at the very bottom because it didn't actually fit the screen or something.
Yeah,
like,
which
really
is not a major concern because it's not like the studio owns 90% of the anime anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much.
That'd be weird if Sony had a monopoly on anime.
Yeah.
They didn't know how to do subtitles properly.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so that guy shows up.
Yeah.
There's a big fight at the end where Kraven's hunting down all the henchmen of the Rhino to get his brother back. Their whole convoy rocks up into the forest, and the snow leopard that previously tried to kill Kraven now attacks them. Attacks a fully armed group of like a dozen men.
Yeah.
And just openly attacks them out of nowhere, and it takes out like 3 of his guys.
For no reason at all.
Yeah, and it runs off into the woods again.
Because I'm pretty sure a bobcat or some sort of feline hunter wouldn't attack a full group of people.
Especially snow leopards are like incredibly timid.
Yeah.
Like they're notoriously hard to find.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're just gonna run out into a group of people.
Yeah, they'll probably if they see like 6 people, they're not gonna attack you.
Yeah, they're really rare to find in the wild at all. So again, they did a great job on the research for their animal film.
Yes.
So anyway, Snow Leopard kicks some ass, and then Dimitri gets away.
Yeah.
During the commotion with the leopard, and then the leopard's gone. We never see it again.
Yeah, it was just there to show up one time.
Yeah,
and leave.
It just showed up to save his brother and then left. I guess it likes his brother more than him.
Yeah.
And then because it seemed to hate him. And then Kraven's like doing a bunch of stuff. He sets up a bunch of Ewok traps and he kills a bunch of guys.
Yeah,
like that.
It's like this is like kind of a gruesome part of the movie because like he's taking like the bear traps and like throwing it on people's heads and stuff, and he's like clamping down, and he had like these weird traps, like these like barbed wire. I don't know what they call it. Swings.
One guy gets like caught in a trap and pulled into like a big blade that's like sticking out of a tree or something, and he's split in half.
It's like great.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The action in this isn't terrible.
Yeah.
It's probably better than the previous Sony stuff. I mean, it's not great still, but the R rating does help it a little bit. It's just a shame everything else around it's not that great.
Yeah.
So before they start slaughtering all the henchmen, that's where we get the scene where where Calypso's talking to Kraven about like the all the voodoo stuff, like witch doctor stuff.
You know all your poisons or whatever, because he's like trying to make he shows him like with like his chemistry set,
right?
With a bunch of different poisons and toxins and stuff. I guess that's what he does with trying to kill people with all these poisons and stuff.
Yeah, and he tries to get her to tell him what was in the vial, and she's like, I can't tell you that.
That's from
my grandma made it. She made it, and then that's where we get like the best line of the movie, besides the guy choking. Yeah. The best line of the movie where she's just like, oh, I can't tell you that because my grandmother died shortly after that, and then I never saw her.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
That's my favorite line.
She said that, and then she was like, my grandmother has no weak cards.
Yes.
My grandmother has no
My
weak
grandmother's
cards.
deck is unbeatable.
Yeah.
And that's when we find out she's an expert archer.
Yeah.
Which comes into play immediately here because the foreigner hits Kraven with some kind of...
Another toxin. It's like toxin on top of toxin.
It's a neurotoxin that causes hallucinogenic things, and then eventually he has paralysis and he dies.
Yeah, he just eventually dies.
So he starts freaking out, and he has this vision of spiders coming down, which is foreshadowing for something that'll never happen, probably. Spooderman's, because we're never getting Spider-Man in this universe.
No.
So they keep foreshadowing some kind of connection to Spider-Man. But the only film in the entire franchise that I think has mentioned Spider-Man by name was Kraven.
Yeah.
Or not Kraven. This is Kraven. Morbius.
Morbius, yeah.
Morbius is the weird post-credit thing about Spider-Man that never goes anywhere.
Yes.
Maybe the Venom movies mention him. Oh, well, I mean, the Venom end post-credit of one of the Venoms, he ends up in the MCU.
Yeah, they get kicked out immediately.
3 seconds. And then Kevin Feige was like, abso-fucking-lutely not, and just sent him back to...
Like, we'll keep the symbiote, but you can venom out of here.
He's just like, absolutely not. Get out of here. And they send Tom Hardy back to
the
Spider-Verse. So that was pretty funny. So I guess that's the closest to Spider-Man we're going to get. But here they have the spider thing. So it's sort of like Madam Web, where he was with my mother in the Amazon when she was studying spiders before she died.
Yes.
Here there's a hallucinogenic thing because apparently Kraven's mother was deathly afraid of spiders, and somehow he knew this telepathically.
Yeah, because she's like in a mental hospital. He said they haven't seen him for like 2 years.
Yeah.
But he obviously didn't know that she was in a mental hospital this whole time when they picked him up.
So they have a shared phobia of spiders.
Yes.
It's like the folie à deux of arachnophobia.
Because fear is genetic, apparently.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, this guy's about to kill Kraven, and then Calypso kills him with the bow.
Yeah, shoots him right in the eye.
Right through the eye, which is on the poster of this film that we're looking at. And that's the only time she ever does anything with the bow. And then she gives him more of the vial because apparently she lied. It's shocking.
Yeah.
That she didn't have more of that serum.
And that serum apparently cures all poisons.
Yes.
Because he specifically it saved him from dying.
It's a full heal and a Phoenix down.
It's an elixir.
It's just an elixir. It can bring you back from death. It can cure all poisons, and it brings you back at full health. So, yeah, it's pretty OP.
It's like, why don't you just share that to people then? It's like, you could make
millions. She could, like, cure all diseases, basically, but no.
No, I just keep it.
She's not going to do that. That's too much responsibility.
There's only 4 of them in the world.
Yeah.
Destroyed that one.
Yeah. So now I guess he's, like, super powered because he's had two doses of that now.
He saw Neil Breen twice.
Damn.
That's a lot of Neil Breen.
That's more Neil Breen than any one person's supposed to have. So now he's all hopped up on Neil Breen. Yeah. So he goes chasing after the bad guys. He ends up catching up the Rhino.
Yeah.
He's hanging on their car again or whatever. But here's the thing, though. Remember the water buffaloes that were there earlier at the middle of the movie, or fairly early in the movie? And it shows the lead water buffalo has a missing horn, like a broken horn.
Yeah.
The water buffaloes are back. Apparently, Russia has, again, another abundance of water buffaloes because it's important to remember that those are all dead.
Yeah.
They were all shot, and it was literally a plot point.
Yeah, he took all their horns.
Yeah. Well, they're back because it zooms in on the water buffalo herd and is led by a buffalo with missing horns. Yes. The same fucking buffalo that died earlier, like 10 years ago.
Yeah, he killed Buffalo Bill earlier and he came back.
Well, he got better.
Yeah, he got better.
And so did the rest of his herd. And I'm almost 100% sure that shot was just recycled from earlier in the movie.
It probably was. It seemed like they were kind of running out of money or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because the buffaloes all come back to life, and then they, like, wreck Rhino's, like, convoy. And then at the end, it's just a big fight between Kraven and Rhino.
Yeah, because Rhino, he takes his serum off, and he becomes full Rhino. This is when he actually has a horn and everything.
Yeah. With great responsibility comes great horniness.
Yes, exactly.
So Rhino,
I didn't understand his power. So he had one weakness, like he had like a hole in his side. I don't understand.
Yeah, you just poke him in the side and he deflates.
Yeah, yeah, because he's super powered except this one spot. It's like a weird like circle.
He's kind of like a Macy's Day Parade float. You just poke him in the side and he deflates.
It's like okay, it's like you somehow are indestructible except one little area in your skin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just poke him there, which he does.
Yeah.
Then he dies.
And then he's like, oh, and then he gets run over by the water buffalo. Like his skin didn't protect him from the water buffalo, just like running all over top of him.
Well, no. Well, I mean, there's water buffalo. You don't fuck with the Russian water buffalo. Okay, they came back from the dead.
Yeah, exactly.
They're that badass.
It'd be like maybe it was like in Lord of the Rings with all those ghosts.
Yeah, pretty much. Maybe they're ghost buffalo. I don't know. I mean, maybe they're ghost buffalo. Maybe they were ghost buffalo to begin with. Because I did do some brief research, which is probably more than they did.
Yeah.
And I found out that there was a water buffalo that used to live in Russia.
Oh, there you go.
But it's been extinct for like 20,000 years or something.
That must have been it. So they went to Kraven and was like, release us.
Yeah.
We promised.
It's been extinct since like the Pleistocene era or something, but they're back.
Then he was like, okay, your deed is done, and release them.
He can release their spirits back to the wild again. So, unless maybe they're resurrected. You know, Russia is doing that thing where they're trying to bring back, like, extinct species. So, like the mammoth and that saber-toothed cat that was just discovered there. I mean, maybe they did it already.
They probably did.
They got a whole population of African water buffaloes.
Yeah, back in Russia, in Siberia.
There they are. They're in far eastern Russia.
Yeah.
So that's basically this movie.
Yeah.
There's a almost post-credit shit that's pre-credit, because this doesn't have a post-credit scene. As far as I'm aware, I didn't stick around. I don't think it does.
No, I looked. There is no post-credit scene.
So we find out that the chameleon... Well, first Kraven goes to see Nikolai.
Yeah, and he's like...
At his hunting camp.
Yeah.
And Nikolai once again tries to offer him his kingdom or whatever. And Kraven refuses him, and he walks away from him. You find out that he took the bullets out of his gun.
And he's like, don't fear death or something.
Yeah. And a bear comes out of nowhere and kills Nikolai.
Yeah.
The bear that Kraven knew was there. I guess he summoned him or something. He's also part bear.
Like a druid or something.
Yeah, he's part lion, he's part eagle. He might as well be part bear
every
as
animal
well.
in existence.
Yeah. So anyway, the bear comes out and kills Nikolai, I guess. We don't actually see it happen, but it's behind him.
Yeah, it's like movie logic. If you didn't see him die,
yeah, it's
he's
true.
not dead.
Maybe Nikolai just bodied the bear.
Yeah.
He looks like he ate a bear. So
yeah, I know.
Russell Crowe's getting bigger.
Yeah, he did.
So, I don't know. And then Kraven goes back to see his brother again, but his brother's going through some changes.
Yeah, his brother has better singing abilities. That's the first change, you know?
Yeah.
His singing is better, and he's like, now you don't have to worry about your family. But now I am the family.
I am the family now.
I have become the family.
And Kraven's like, what are you saying?
It's like, what do you mean?
Then he leaves, and then Kraven chases him down, and he turns around, and he becomes Short Kraven.
He becomes, like, Short King Kraven.
he becomes Kraven, but, like, a foot and a half shorter than him.
It's like Short King Kraven.
Short King Kraven with his face.
Yeah. It was really jarring.
It was weird. They put, like, Aaron Taylor Johnson's face on this, like, short
on
guy.
His kid or something.
Yeah, it was so weird. And then you find out that he's become the chameleon.
Yeah.
Which this actually makes sense that he'd be a chameleon because he can change his face. The bullshit where he can change his voice made no sense. Yeah. That's a parrot, not a chameleon. Yeah. They don't know their animals very well.
No.
And that's basically Kraven the Hunter. We do have to ask our audience one more question, though. Do you like Tony Bennett?
Yeah.
If you don't like Tony Bennett, I can't trust you.
Yeah, I can't trust you. It's like, yeah, sure, I like Tony Bennett.
Yeah. If you don't like Tony Bennett, you just click off this video now. You can't watch.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that is Kraven the Hunter.
Yes.
This is a fantastic film.
Yeah.
It's a film of the year. Of all films of 2024, this is certainly one of them.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I'd say Aaron Taylor Johnson did play a decent Kraven. It was like he was actually really good in this.
Yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson was decent in this. I would have liked to have seen him as Kraven in a competently made film, but that's not what we're getting. This is Sony.
Yeah. And even had he had the weird sitting pose at the very end.
Yeah, they did take 3 seconds of inspiration from the comics.
You know, the guy was like, I want to give you something, and he gave him like that weird like vest or something.
Yeah, he gave him
specifically for him, or was
the
it
lion vest,
or was that for like Russell Crowe that he couldn't fit or something? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Could have fit him perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, did he give him to him because of that, or did he make that for Aaron Taylor Johnson?
My assumption is that he probably had that made out of the lion.
Yeah.
Because he did kill the lion that bit him.
Yeah.
And had it mounted, and then maybe he took the mane from that lion and made that vest, and he had it shipped to Kraven, thinking that Kraven would have accepted his offer to join. Because he had to have done it before he died.
Yeah.
And then he just ended up dying by bear attack instead of having Kraven join him.
Yeah.
But he must have sent that gift to him earlier. And that's what that was. And then he just got it in the mail after he killed his father or something. I don't know. But, so we get 3 seconds of him doing the pose. The thinker pose in his chair with the lion mane.
The Arnold.
The Conan the Barbarian.
Conan pose.
Yeah. So, which is actually from the comic. Might be the only thing from the comics that's in this. So we get 2 seconds of Kraven at the end. So, I think, like I said, if you enjoy like bad movies, which I do, I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah, as I say, it's not like it's bad.
Oh, it's bad.
It's entertaining. It is very entertaining. It's a very entertaining movie, but it is like not good.
No, it's not good.
No.
It's garbage. It's a garbage film. The editing is really lousy. There's a lot of baffling decisions. That's actually what makes them funny. All of these Sony films, the humor comes from the baffling decisions that are made.
Yeah.
And at points you wonder if there's even like a human writing this shit or directing it, because like that scene of the guy just choking on a hairball for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Why was that in the film? Was that a conscious decision that someone made?
Yeah.
Or was he actually choking?
He probably was choking.
They just filmed it and left it
choking,
in.
And then it went away and he was like, oh, I'm fine now.
Yeah, but they left that scene in the movie. And it also, every scene looked like it was done on the first take.
Yeah.
And whatever take they got was what they got. Because there was a lot of ADR in this film. That was obvious ADR.
Yeah.
So it's like they didn't pick up the audio correctly the first time, so they had them just voice it in.
Yeah, like there's that one scene where Kraven's talking to Calypso outside of like this plane.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound natural. It sounds very like...
It didn't even sync up properly.
Yeah, it was weird. It sounded really strange.
Like that was really bad. And then there's a couple other lines that like the delivery is so flat and weird.
It's like part-time.
Yeah.
Part-time.
They took the worst take.
Yeah, it's really weird.
They either consciously took the worst take or they only did one take.
Or they're like, screw it.
Yeah.
They're like, no one's going to watch this movie.
Right. You only get one take.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of weird writing choices.
Yeah, 'cause I don't know. Did this movie have a lot of, reshoots compared to the other ones?
Oh, I have no idea what the production for this was.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's 100 million to 130 million was what this movie's budget was.
Which is kind of mid-tier for a superhero thing.
I feel like it's probably because of all the CGI they had to use, because they had to use a lot all the animals are all CGI.
Yeah.
Plus, like, the water buffalo scene was
the CGI actually wasn't as bad as some people say. I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't the worst thing ever.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty decent.
I've heard people say it had like early 2000s CGI. It's like they need to go back and watch a movie from the early 2000s because it didn't look like that.
No.
But like I said, it's typically the baffling writing choices, the weird dialogue, the flat delivery of dialogue. Like that type of stuff is what makes these bad.
Yeah.
And this is no exception to that. It's more of the Sony bullshit. So if you were expecting this to be better than Morbius or better than Madam Web, it's not really.
Yeah, out of all the Spunk movies, since this is the last Spunk movie.
Allegedly.
Right now.
So that's the thing we need to address too. But yeah, go ahead.
So right now, this is the last of the Spunk movie. I would say this is actually I haven't seen Morbius. I didn't see Morbius.
I did.
So I don't know how it compares to that one. But watching Madam Web... This is definitely a better movie than Madam Web, at least I think it is.
It's easier to follow what's going on here. Like, there's a bunch of missing information, but it's not so complicated that you can't figure out what happened. Like, you can pretty much put the pieces together yourself. But there's no excuse for that. Like, you can't excuse the film just forgetting major plot points.
Yeah.
And then expecting the audience just to fill in the blanks. I mean, you need to tell people this happens.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wouldn't recommend this film if you're looking for like a decent film. I would recommend this if you like movies that are so bad they're good, or you're somebody who enjoys like mediocre bad films, or watching it with a group of friends or something like that, because it does have a lot of laugh out loud.
Yeah, there are some laugh out loud
stupid scenes. So... Yeah, I would recommend it for that. So anyway, about the Spunk universe or the SS universe or whatever the heck this is. Universe. The Sony Spider-Man universe.
It's Sony,
like what
did you pick that name?
So, about this universe, I've heard two things. One thing I've heard, and people can comment in the chat or the comment section or whatever, what they think's going to happen, what they view the future of this franchise is going to be. As Madam Web once said, I can see the future.
Yeah.
So, two things I've heard. One, this is it. They're not doing another film after this. The Kraven the Hunter is the end of the SS universe.
Yeah.
The other thing I've heard, which I thought was fully confirmed, but maybe it wasn't, was Sinister Six.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with Sinister Six. So Sinister Six was supposed to be Venom, Morbius, Madam Web, Vulture, and Kraven the Hunter. So how many people is that?
That's 5.
Yeah. So apparently Sony can't even.
Six.
Sony can't even count.
It's so sinister that 6 just becomes 5.
Yeah, unless they were gonna put the Chameleon in there as well. That would be 6.
But Chameleon almost like a bad guy, though. It's like,
they're all bad guys.
Well,
that's the problem with this universe.
Like, they're supposed to be like anti-heroes.
I guess.
Or whatever, the anti-heroes.
But Chameleon
is bad.
Yeah.
And Morbius, I'm assuming is bad, because like I said, I've never seen the movies.
Well, he's an anti-hero at the end again, too, so he defeats Matt Smith.
Like, I don't know, the only thing I don't understand is, like, if they were to do that, who would be your villain? Would that be
I guess
Spider-Man?
The villain was supposed to be the Null or whatever the hell.
Okay.
Which was supposed to be the villain in Venom 3, but apparently he's only in it for like a minute or something.
It's supposed to be Null.
Because it's that whole garbage with the whatever the heck it was. King in Black or whatever the heck it is.
That would be such a convoluted movie because...
Well, they all are. It would fit perfectly with the rest of the universe.
Because you'd have to explain who Null is.
Well, they already did that. That's in Venom 3.
Yeah, like... You'd have to have Brock, or whatever that guy's name is from the Venom, be able to team up all these people in one movie.
Yeah.
Plus, do the actual fight scenes.
Well, it's going to make more sense than have Spider-Man be in it, because, like, they haven't even introduced any version of Spider-Man.
That movie would have to be, like, 3 hours long.
It's not going
Plus.
to be. You know it's not going to make any sense.
Yeah.
So that's why it brings up the question, does that even happen? Or are they just dropping this shit after Kraven?
I think they probably would drop it. Because they consider this is the worst opening of all the Spider-Man movies.
Even worse than Madam Web.
Yeah, even worse than Madam Web. It's only made, like, according to this, $26 million at the box office with a $120 million budget.
Yeah.
Or $110 to $130 million budget. Probably not going to make its money back, for sure.
Right.
But I think Sony was always banking on Venom, was the one that they were like, Venom made their money back, I think. I don't know how the third Venom was. But...
I don't know how they did. The only ones I haven't seen in this universe is Venom 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Which is really weird because Venom's like the linchpin of this whole thing.
Yeah.
But,
actually, Venom The Last Dance made $475 million.
Yeah, they may just push it just because of Venom.
Yeah, because Venom's going to be in it.
But Venom would be probably the lead of that.
Yeah.
And then all these other fools come in as just like the backup for Venom.
Yeah, because Kraven, even Aaron Taylor Johnson even said he would want to be in like a Sinister Six movie.
I wouldn't mind seeing more of him as Kraven, to be honest.
Madam Web, I don't know if I'd want... what's her name?
Who cares about it? Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Dakota Johnson doesn't give a shit about Madam Web.
Yeah, she was like, I didn't even watch the movie. Like, she even said she didn't watch it.
Yeah, that's
she made it, but didn't even watch it.
She'd probably do it if you paid her, though.
Yeah.
So
she has to just sit in a chair. That's like literally.
Yeah, pretty much. She doesn't have to. Yeah, they turned her into Xavier.
Yeah, she can't see.
So, yeah, she's just like a weird seer.
Yeah, because she has so much responsibility that she turned blind.
She overloaded on responsibility.
She went blind.
She just overdosed on responsibility.
And her legs stopped working.
Yeah, so she OD'd on responsibility.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with that.
Yeah, it's like that's the only thing is like
But anybody who does these movies does it for the paycheck or to do a project. Like, we found out that guy directed this is directing a drama or something, and it's almost certain that he did this so that Sony would let him do the other thing.
That's actually what I was going to get into, is this J.C. Chandler is making a drama for Sony, and I have a feeling they probably told him you had to make this movie to make that.
Probably, because I think Sydney Sweeney even said in an interview that she did Madam Web so that she could do Immaculate.
Yeah.
So
it's like almost like they're using these movies as like jumping off points into making other movies what they want to make. Because he said this Chandor guy says that other movie's already done. Like, he's already wrote it and everything.
Right.
It just needs to be filmed. That's it.
Yeah.
They gave it to him, so. I mean, that's a good way to get, like, I guess a good way to get into into the Sony universe, but. I mean, it is. I mean, how hard could you possibly do it? It's a Sony.
Yeah, getting into the Sony studios. What do you got to do? Open the door?
Yeah, open the door. It's like, I have Madam Web for you. Madam Web 2 for you.
So, yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do going forward for this.
I can see, like, if they were doing the Sinister Six movie, I guess Madam Web would probably be like telepathically talking to like Brock. Yeah. The Venom guy is like, there's Null coming. And then that's probably where the linchpin movie. But it's gonna be movie's gonna be so long.
They're gonna send Madam Web's gonna send a telepathic message to Morbius about Null, and he's just gonna be like intriguing.
Yeah. Who's Null? Intriguing. It's like, what? And Vulture.
And Vulture will just show up and be like, I'm pretty sure this Spider-Man guy's behind it all.
Yeah, who's Spider-Man? Like Vulture's gonna still be looking for Spider-Man. There's no Spider-Man.
He's the only character that knows that Spider-Man exists.
Yeah, I know. It's like, we need to find Spider-Man. Who's Spider-Man? Oh, we beat him up in Madam Web. That's not Spider-Man.
That was Spider Guy.
Spider Guy, or whatever that guy's name was.
He was there the whole time. He was there with his mother, with her mother, when she was in the Amazon studying spiders before she died.
Yes.
So
it's. Man, this has to be one of the most convoluted universes.
It does. It really does have to be. It's definitely up there if it's not.
I mean, out of all the failed, I guess not really. Maybe I don't even consider failed, but like DCU was not very good.
Yeah, but DCU definitely had better films than this.
Yeah, had better films. At least they had some sort of. They had actual heroes. They had actual heroes.
The concept of this universe is stupid.
Yeah, the concept is really bad.
So
it's almost like Marvel. The only bad thing is Marvel can't use any of these characters, and that's the only thing. Or can they use these?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Have they used any of these characters?
I'm trying to think if they did.
Well, the fact that the symbiote exists in the MCU, kind of implies that maybe they'll do Venom down the line.
Yeah, that might be it.
And Vulture was from the MCU in the first place.
Yeah. I guess they haven't really... Yeah, because I guess... Did they use Green Goblin? I guess they used Green Goblin in the last movie, but that was a Sony picture with, like, Marvel.
Yeah, that doesn't count. That's not part of this crap. They could introduce somebody like Green Goblin as, like, a villain for Sinister Six or something.
Yeah, because Green Goblin, I think, is, like, a villain from... Or, like, maybe part of Sinister Six or something.
Yeah, well, I think he's part of the Sinister Six.
They had Green Goblin and Hobgoblin.
Yeah, I think Hobgoblin is supposed to be. There was always a rumor for the longest time that they were going to turn Ned into Hobgoblin in the regular Spider-Man movies. But I don't know if that's happening or not.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know what they're going to do with this. I think anybody has their thoughts about it, they can tell us in the comments below. Unless you're not a fan of Tony Bennett. Yeah. If you don't like Tony Bennett, get the hell out.
Yeah, get out.
We don't trust you. Yeah. Just like Nikolai. So anyway, if you like this video, give us that thumbs up. Consider subscribing for more like this in the future. And you too could feel the strength welling within. See ya.